Okay, this is a reaction video. This is from Christian and Sia. 15 airplane hacks to upgrade your flying experience for free. Now, I have flown first class many times. When I first flew over to Germany, I got upgraded to first class. Okay, let me see what this is all about, and I'll tell you about my experience if it becomes applicable. But let's see what this is. 15 airplane hacks to upgrade your flying experience for free.
The actual travel part of traveling does not need to be dreaded. If you want to take your airport and airplane experience to the next level, keep watching because I'm sharing 15 ways to upgrade your flying experience. When you're booking a flight somewhere, you typically do it months or even weeks before departure. And if you want that better economy seat, you typically have to pay extra for it. Except I'm going to teach you a way where you don't have to do that and you can get it for free. You can check into your flight 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours before departure. So set an alarm on your phone that will alert you when it's the earliest time that you can check in. So you can be one of the first, if not the first person to check in, which will give you the best options for the seats that are still available.
Okay, that is a way you can do it. I do know that. I've discovered that as well.
Including the ones that were going to originally cost you more in economy. Choose a seat in row 13 and get the whole row to yourself. A seat in row 13 is the least likely to get booked, and here's why. It is a long-held belief in many cultures that 13 is an unlucky number.
Yeah, 13 is an unlucky number.
Several airlines have actually gotten rid of row 13 and they just go right from row 12
to 14, even though 14 is 13, I get it.
To row 14. So airlines like Alaska Airlines, United Airlines, Lufthansa, Air France, just to name a few. But then there are other airlines like American, Delta, Southwest, JetBlue that still have row 13. So if that row is available and you are not a superstitious person, choose a seat in that row and you're more likely to get the whole row to yourself if the flight isn't overbooked. Book the middle seat. If you're flying solo, book the middle.
I've never heard about this, booking the middle seat.
Middle seat only on flights you know aren't going to be overbooked. So those are flights that are in the very early morning.
Yeah, the way you do that is you check the seats availability and you see who's there. If every seat is occupied, then you can't do this.
Or late at night, people are less likely to book the window or aisle seat if someone's already sitting in the middle, so you're more likely to get a whole row to yourself. If you're flying as a couple, one of you books the window seat, one of you books the aisle seat, and people are less likely to book that middle seat unless the plane is full.
Yeah, again, a lot of this comes down whether the plane is full or not. Usually the plane is full. So you're going to know that when you assuming
if it is the case,
assuming you're able to choose your seat,
that the flight is fully booked, you can always ask the person who's sitting in the middle to switch with you to have either the window or aisle, which I'm sure they would be fully up for. And if
not necessarily, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but more often than not they will.
No one is sitting in the middle seat, that gives you and the person you're flying with some extra elbow room. Be loyal. If you're
join the loyalty programs. That's another way. I mean, look, that's a way you can upgrade your service, because you fly enough times, you get enough miles, you can upgrade it. You can also use it to take care of your luggage fees as well.
If you're loyal to one or two airlines, then there's a better chance that you'll get loyalty status on these airlines, which leads to free upgrades and other perks.
That's how I got I was able to fly first class to Germany. My dad was flying back and forth to Washington, D.C. on his job, and when he flew us in 2006 to Germany to the World Cup, they called him up there and they said, would you like to upgrade to first class? And he said, you have 2 rows for my sons, and they did, and so we were able to fly to Germany first class. That's how that was able to be done.
Just be sure to choose an airline that you love traveling with and that goes to many of the destinations that you want to travel to. And before you know it, you'll be climbing up that loyalty ladder and finding yourself in first or business class. Use Expert Flyer to get the seat that you want for free. You can use Expert Flyer to set an alert that will notify you when the seat you want becomes available if someone decides to cancel or change their flight. This feature is free to use, and when you do get that notification, you just go and change your seat by checking into the flight again. Ask for an upgrade. I know it seems like
yeah, you can always do that. I was waiting for that to come about. You can ask for an upgrade at the counter. I have a friend who used to work for United Airlines, and he used to say sometimes he would find the best-looking woman and upgrade her and see if he could get anything from her. But you can ask for the upgrade at the counter.
simple thing to do, but it works sometimes, especially if you're traveling solo. Get to the airport a little bit earlier, dress a little bit extra nice, go to the check-in counter and talk to the agent there. Ask them if they have any upgrades available in first or business class. Ask them how much it is, and when they tell you, you can say along the lines like, oh, that's a little bit too much for me. And sometimes, it's happened to me twice in the last 10 years, you may be lucky and get a really nice agent who will upgrade you free of charge.
And also that depends on, a lot of this depends on whether it's a full flight. If it's a half full flight, like I remember flying to Houston, from Columbus to Houston on a half full flight. Now to Seattle to Houston to Seattle was a full flight, but I flew on Columbus to Houston. It was a half full flight. They were just literally handing out Cokes. Here, have 2, 3, 4 Cokes. Take more if you want. I mean, they're just giving things away. And I didn't need to move to first class because I had a whole row of seats to myself. But if I'd wanted to, I probably could have gone up to first class if I'd wanted to.
Even if you don't get boosted to business or first class, there is a chance you could get boosted to a better economy seat like premium economy. And if that doesn't work, once you get through security and you go to your gate and it gets closer to departure time, go to the gate agent and ask them for an upgrade. At this point, a better seat might be available because someone canceled or didn't show up for their flight and it's time to, start boarding. So you might get a chance at getting an upgrade for free at this point too. Claim your spot. Once you actually board the plane and there's an announcement that they're fully boarded, doors are closing, ready for takeoff, stand up, look around, see if there are any rows that have nobody in them. And if there are, ask the flight attendant if you can go and claim that row once you are in the air and it's safe.
Yeah, again, a lot of this has to do with whether or not it's busy. Yeah, look, I remember getting on a plane. It was me and a woman next to me. And just as the plane had taken off, the back row of 3 seats were completely empty. And she just got up and just basically sat down and just claimed her spot for all intents and purposes. Again, a lot of this has to do with whether or not it's a full flight or not.
To move around, they will have no problem with it. They usually just don't want you to do it before takeoff because you have to stay in your assigned seat for safety reasons. Bid on a first class seat. Did you know you can actually bid on a business or first class seat?
Yeah, I looked at that. I actually Virgin Airlines. I'm flying to England in 2.5 weeks, and you can bid. You can give X amount of dollars, how much you want to pay, and if they accept it, you'll get a first class seat.
Now this does come at a bit of an additional cost, but really that additional cost depends on you. Once you book your flight, a lot of airlines actually email you before departure at some point saying, hey, would you like to bid on an upgrade? And that means you can actually set a price that you are willing to pay to be upgraded to business or first class. Other passengers on the flight do have an opportunity to also bid, but if you are the highest bid at $200.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is something that you could possibly do. I'm thinking of doing it. It also depends on how busy the flight is going to be.
You will get upgraded to first class. If you don't win the bid, no problem. You don't have to pay anything, so really it's a win-win situation. 24 hours before departure, call the airline and ask for a bulkhead seat. If the person asks why you want a bulkhead seat, you can make up an excuse like, my child kicks the seat in front of them, or I have restless leg syndrome. Or you can just be honest and say you want the extra room. It's up to you. Even if you don't get the bulkhead seat, your name is officially in the system for a potential upgrade. Then when you get to the airport, make sure you're nicely dressed, go up to the desk agent and kindly ask, is the flight overbooked? If they say yes, this is good. Most of the time, flights like to overbook economy because people don't show up and they still want a full flight. And in this situation, because the economy section of the flight is already overbooked, you're more likely to get an upgrade because you're already on the potential upgrade list. You ask nicely, and they got to put you somewhere because they've already overbooked economy. Scope out Seat Guru before choosing your seat.
Yeah, Seat Guru is a good thing to look at.
There is a site called Seat Guru, which allows you to put in the aircraft that you are going to be flying, and it gives you a full diagram of what that aircraft looks like and the seats, as well as all the details about each seat and what they have. So if they have like outlets, Wi-Fi, extra leg room, Seat Guru will let you know, so you can see which seats are the best seats for the flight that you are going to be taking. Book your flight for the very early morning or overnight.
Okay, and this is also another thing that I always do. Like, my girlfriend was upset that I asked for the early flight, and once she took it, now we take the early flight all the time. The early flight, now when I fly to London in 2.5 weeks, it's going to be the overnight flight. It's going to be the red eye. But yeah, the early flight, the overnight flight, that's the best way to take it, because you don't always get a full flight.
And save big. Flights that leave in the very early morning or are overnight flights are typically the cheapest because they are the least in demand. This means that they are least likely to fill up, which means a better opportunity for free upgrades or very discounted business and first class seat tickets. Choose the middle of the plane. Sit in the middle of the plane if you don't like turbulence. This area is less bumpy than the front or back and will make for a smoother flight.
Now, I haven't heard about that, but yeah, I'll take her word for it.
Choose a special meal. Mealtime on an airplane can be a little cray-cray. If your flight does include a plain meal, choose a special meal. There's so many to choose from. If you haven't done it before, you can get vegan options, gluten-free options, kosher options, vegetarian, pescatarian.
Yeah, I've done that before. Choose, that's a good idea if you want. Now, I don't know how it helps you to upgrade, but yeah, it is pretty cool to get to choose your own meal.
The list goes on. By choosing a special meal, you don't have to pay anything extra for it, and you are one of the first ones to get served at mealtime. You'll also be guaranteed a meal that you'll, enjoy. Enjoy as much as you can enjoy plain food.
Yeah, plain food isn't very good anyway, to be honest with you.
Often when it's a full flight, the best meal option goes to those who get served first, and those who get served second or last don't have any options to choose from. They're just getting what's left over. So if you don't want to be that person who's looking at their meal, looking at the person beside them, and really wishing that you could just swipe theirs.
Now, I don't know about about an airplane hack, but yeah, I do agree with that. You choose your food, because airplane food isn't generally very good.
Get a special meal. Get yourself a points card ASAP. You're already spending money daily, so why not earn points while you're doing it? That could lead to free flights and seat upgrades. We put everything on our points cards: gas, groceries, clothing, and even travel. And then each year, we're able to use these points we've accumulated to book flights for the whole family without paying an extra dollar. And that is it for these travel hacks. Let me know if you've already tried out some of these hacks before.
Well, these were nothing new that I haven't heard of before, but a lot of them are pretty good. And like I said, when I fly to London, I'll let you know if I get upgraded or if I try and get to first class or something like that. But I'm flying overnight, which is good. So that it doesn't look like it's a full flight, at least not in 2.5 weeks out. I'll get the sooner I get there, I'll figure out. But anyway, please click like, share, and subscribe for her as well as for me. And have a good rest of your day, and thanks for watching.